Hello there, this is Mark II, and this is not Minecraft. I haven't had time to play Minecraft this week because the slave drivers at the salt mine have been forcing me to work extra. So, been playing a little Drifter. Drifter's a new game. It's in beta right now. If you want to get in on the beta, it'll cost you about $10, I think. And there is a link to Celsius.com at the in the description. So the intention here is I just wanted to show you a little bit about the game, give you a taste for it. Maybe you look at it and say, wow, that's exactly what I've been waiting for my entire life. I'm going to go get it right now. Or you might say, how on earth could anyone ever play that thing? I'm not going to waste my time or money on it any further. Either way, mission accomplished if you figure it out from this. So here's where you start. You have some music in the background. I'm going to leave the music on for a particular reason. And in this particular episode, our goal is going to be to show off some of the combat. Now, combat may not necessarily be the first thing you'd want to do in Drifter. You might want to get used to the controls and the interface before you go out and start shooting. Could be kind of, what would be a good word for it? Disappointing, because you can get killed fairly easily if you don't have a good feel for how it works. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the opening screen. We'll click it to continue, and we're going to start a new game. Now notice this is beta. This is not very pretty. The first thing you're going to do in a beta, of course, is to make sure that the game actually works and has some playability before you start worrying about window dressing like this. So it's probably going to be improved by the time they release it. So let's start a new game, and here we are in our new universe. Looking out, we're at Osawa is the name of the system. You can only tell that because I happen to know there's the star and the name of it is Osawa, and there's a planet Osawa 1. Here's our ship in the middle. Up here in the upper left, we have a radar screen. Don't have anything on radar right now. 3 bands around that give us various statuses. Here's weapons. And over here on the right, this is kind of a telescope view, but we don't have a current target, so there's nothing in our telescope view. We can maneuver around with keyboard controls, which you can set up yourself. There's a station. We could land in that station if we wanted to. The keyboard controls, if you want to change them, you can hit escape and go to your options, and then you can configure keyboard. My configuration is different from yours, so I'm going to try to talk about what the things are doing rather than what key you have to hit to make it happen. I don't have a standard keyboard. I'm a Dvorak typist. My keys are not in the same place as most people's. So what I have is an apostrophe. Most people would have, or a comma, I guess that is. Most people would have a W there. So that's just me. That doesn't make it better. The idea is put the keys where you can use them, and these happen to be my left middle finger, left ring finger, left index finger. So they're all in a little cluster. I can do my throttling up, turning left, turning right, all with one hand without moving my fingers. And the weapons are down here in space. Space is space bar. That's standard. That's the same place on my keyboard as everyone else's. So I'm not going to change any of this, and we're going to cancel that and get back in here. Resume the game. And there's our space station. Now we want to dock with the space station. This game is very similar to an old game called Elite. That's a planet underneath us, by the way. Got a little ring system. Elite was a little different. If you tried to do this with Elite, you would end up being blown up very quickly. But don't worry about running into the stations, at least not for now, because if you do, you will just bounce off. Kind of like a big rubber station, I guess. You can't fly in there on your own. Again, in Elite, if you're used to playing Elite from back in the 80s, or maybe 90s, I think it started out in the 80s, You know, getting into the station was one of your first horrible tasks that you had to figure out how to do. But here in Drifter, it's very easy. You click on your machine, you get all these options, and you click that, and now we're in the station. Music changes. We're in the station. Again, this is probably going to be a lot more interesting when they release it, but for now, these are your options. Undefined becomes something else in some stations, but there just isn't that facility at this particular station. So we're going to play some combat. We're going to do combat first. So you can get all kinds of missions over here in the missions office. And we want to kill somebody, so there's various kinds here. There's contract, delivery, patrol, retrieval. The ones that are going to end up killing things are patrols and contracts. Patrols are a little more involved than I want to get into right now, so let's look at this contract here. That's a termination required. We're going to kill somebody. This is almost always identical text, so no point in reading it now. What we're going to focus on is the fact that it's in the Zuvrock system. Okay, so let's go ahead and accept that one. That's our mission. And now how do we get to the Zuvrock system? Well, we can go over here to our pilot's quarters, and we can look at the star map. There's our galaxy. Our galaxy is 100,000 light years across, and it contains tens of thousands of stars. Somewhere in there is Zuvrock. How are we going to find it? Well, there's two ways to do it. We can click this, and we can search for it, and we don't have to remember how to spell Zuvrock. We can just remember the first few letters, and it will find everything that contains those. There's Zuvrock down here at the bottom. We can see a little bit about it, how far away it is. We can see that it's a dictatorship. Not all planets are dictatorships. There's a democracy there. It's low-tech as opposed to high-tech or agrarian or mining or any of the other things. And then safety is 88%, which is fairly high. That means chances are you're not going to get attacked very much. Here, chances are you're going to get attacked all the time. So, but we're going to go to Zuvrock. So let's close this and chart our course. Our course is plotted. It's going to take 3 jumps. That's important. That's how far it is, and it's going to take about 0.13 days. And there's the course right there, but you can't tell anything right now. Now I can use my scroll wheel to scroll in, and we can scroll in on our system here. And now we suddenly see where we are. And here we are over in Osawa. We're going to jump to Nojui, Okik Gel, and then on to Zuvrock, where we will meet whoever it is we're supposed to kill. Okay, so there we go. Alright, we could look at our target system here. This is Zuvrock. And we can do the same trick with the scroll wheel. And you can even zoom in on the planets within the system. So the graphics are fairly good here. There's the star, it has sunspots and everything, so it's all... Looks like there's a station for both of them. There are different kinds of stations, and it doesn't really make any difference at this point what they look like on the outside. If we were trading, which is something we won't get into today, we could figure out what we could make a little money on from this screen. We're not going to do that today, though. Maybe later. So anyway, that's how we get there, but there's a problem. We need some fuel. So let's get out of our quarters and go over to our ship. This is our ship. It's a Shrike. There are a number of kinds. I think there are about 10. Ultimately, they plan on, I believe, up to 20 different ship types that you can choose from. This is the standard issue ship. This is pretty, it's adequate. It's not the best of anything. It's all round. You can do whatever you want with it. But not as well as some other ones that might be more adept at certain things. More adept at combat, more adept at hauling cargo. Depending on what you want to do. So let's look at our ship here, and from there we see what we've got. We've got a basic homing missile. It's some ammunition. We can shoot a missile at somebody. But that isn't going to get us to Zuvrock, which is what we want to do. So where are we going to get to Zuvrock? We have to get some antimatter to run our jump drive. So we're going to go to the stock market over here, and as you may recall, we could have bought some stuff here in an attempt to trade with the people at Zuvrock. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to look for some antimatter. Antimatter costs 100 credits, and we can see from up here that I have 10,000 credits. So let's buy some. Let's go ahead and buy 10 of them. That's 10% of my fortune. I'm going broke already. Very interested in going there and collecting that bounty. Okay. And hopefully not getting killed in the process. So here we go. We go back to the docking bay. There is a bug right now. This is beta, of course, and sometimes when you buy things, it doesn't show up in your ship. It'll show up when you buy it that it's there, but it doesn't show up here. That's a bug, and I reported this. The developer informs me it seems to be related to when you're doing saves inside stations, but that's just part of the wonderment of doing betas. Sometimes things don't work right. So I always check. Usually if I'm not sure, I'll buy like one thing. And you clear that bug, you just leave the station and come back in the station, and then you'll be able to transfer the stuff into your ship. Okay, so we're not going to send that to the station. We could, but we're not going to. Maybe we'll get into that later. So now we're going to launch. Zoom, there we go. And we're out. Now you can't do anything until this initial video, this initial kind of little mini cinema gets through, and then you can click again on your ship and you have all these options here. Let's take a moment to see what they are. This just tells you what's going on in your ship, similar to the station, but with far fewer things to look at. This one here shows you the system. It's the same deal. You can see this is an asteroid belt. Not all systems have asteroid belts, and those are important if you're going to be a miner, but we're not going to get into that today. This is the galaxy map. Again, we've already seen this one. That's for docking. This is communication with NPCs. It is not implemented yet. That we're going to be clicking in a minute. And this here is the thing that will bring you to all stop. You can see we're slowing down here by this arc in the lower left corner. Our jump computer is ready. We did not have to stop then if we didn't want to. We'll get into Slipstream a little later too. And over here, these are pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to get into that. So let's click it. And here we're going to jump, and boom, there we go. We don't have to worry about any of that debris off in front of us. It's a 2.5D space here. So in other words, we're flat. Now we can't jump yet. We've got to wait this amount of time before we can jump to the next system, which it would tell us here, I think, if we were going. But we've got a few seconds to talk. So here are our weapon statuses. We have infinite amount of ammunition for the weapons we have, which are lasers by default. We have lasers. I'm not sure what this is. I think that might be the missile launcher, but I don't use it very much. And it says 0 and I have 1, and I've seen it say 5 when I had 8, so I'm not really sure what that means. That might mean something completely different. So here we are in this system. We can look at it. You see, now we're in a different system. No Zui. Here we are heading out away from the system. It doesn't really matter at this point. Okay, we're ready to go to Okikjel. So there we go. Hit the button and boom! There we go, off to Okikjel. And here we are. Nice view. I always like to be on the move when I'm in a new system because something might attack me. Right now there aren't any, and I'm pushing my button that's going to take me to the next nearby ship, but there aren't any nearby ships, so that isn't doing anything. Now notice what happens when I turn the ship. I'm facing a different way, but see the particles? They're all streaming by, and now they're streaming by like I'm going backwards. That's because this is true to Newtonian physics. Just because there's no atmosphere in outer space, so you flip your ship around, it doesn't make any difference. You're going to continue going in the same direction you're going until acted upon by a different force. So we can change that by hitting our thrusters And that is our opposing force, and that brings us back, and now we're going forward. And you can tell that also from this button here, or this indicator here, that we're not going, that we're in this other direction, an oblique direction. What your direction is when you hit jump doesn't really matter, because you're just going to jump over towards Zuvrak. And now we're on our way to Zuvrak, which is where our mission is taking us. Okay, and what we're going to look for here is the bad guy. Now, I'm not going to start moving just yet. Let's see where the system is. Alright, there's the station. Look at there. I bet you that's where he's at. Oh, and there's that one station that we saw from over there. Now we're going to do Slipstream, because that's actually a long way off. So I hit my Slipstream key, and we're in Slipstream. Now in Slipstream you can't maneuver. I can push my buttons all I want. I can't maneuver. I can't speed up. My velocity indicated is Slipstream, which is 10 times my maximum velocity. We can see the mission objective here. And I'm hitting my button to try and lock in on a bad guy or anybody, and there isn't anybody. So my mission objective's peeling off to the left over here. There's somebody, but you see how it's blue here? Blue is not a bad guy. Blue is neutral. So we're going to drop out a Slipstream, wheel around here to the mission objective again, get back in Slipstream. Jump computer is idle right now because of the bad guys. Look at there, red. It's an egret. Oh no, those are hard. Okay. Let's find him. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's around here somewhere. Looking for the egret. Looking for my bad guy. I don't even remember what he was. Was he a pirate? Ah, there he is. There he is. Okay, now, remember, spacebar. That's how I'm shooting. And there's my lasers. I am not hitting him at all at this point. You'll know when I'm hitting him because you'll see there we go. Okay, now he's shooting back. I don't want to get hit by an egret because I know they have twice as many weapons as I do. They have 4 weapons hard points. And who knows what he's got on him. If he's got lasers or plasma cannons. I don't know. But there he is. Get out of the way of that thing. Now look over there on the left and see the blue line in the middle. See how it's down? That's my shield status. And my shields are a little bit down right now. Look at his though. He's doing fine. I'm not doing fine. Now look at my yellow status. I just took some damage to my my armor, and that never recovers. So my shield's way down, my armor's hurt. I'm gonna move away from this guy and let my shield build back up, which might take a few seconds. And he's going to be chasing me. You can see him on the radar over here. He's the red dot. There's a yellow dot, which is probably a container, possibly somebody that he shot. And you can see how far away he is. Now we're looking here. He doesn't have a bounty on him. So I don't know if he's really the bad guy I was looking for. But he's chasing us. He's right behind us, trying to keep up with us. A little slower than we are. The egret is bigger, heavier. Okay, I think our shields are back. So let's get around, come about, and there he is. He's shooting at us. Get away, try to get away. Try not to get hit. Get in behind him. Now we can see on the right side over there, that he's now coming about. He's probably going to start shooting at me soon. And there he is. He hit me. Okay. Now we'll get in behind him again. Notice how the sun can be a disadvantage to you as you're... I really should turn down the... Uh-oh. That was nearly bad. Okay, I'm getting into his armor now. See that yellow line on the right quadrant over there is down. I would, if I didn't have, now you see how he's shooting out flames. He's in serious trouble now. So here we go. We can knock him down. You can also hear, he got me a little bit more too. And I'm in serious trouble because I had let my finger slip off the right button so that I wasn't maneuvering when I wanted to be. I can't afford to get hit anymore. Okay, we got him. Now see how now we've got a container over here. Actually, we have several of them. And we need to pick those up. And we have a yellow arrow telling us which way the container is. Here we come. And our music is gone. That's a bug. Sometimes the music turns off on you. There we go. That's some steel plate. Good, because mine's wrecked. I'm going to need new steel plate. And let's see here. Comes another one. See what this one is. That one is a basic homing missile. Okay, that's awesome. And let's go get this other one. I believe that's the last one. And here it is. I don't even know if this was the right guy. So we're going to have to check that in a minute. Okay, here we go. Alright, a standard force field. Good deal. Alright, let's head to a station. That one. Okay, the station, that's the planet. There's the station. It's 1.26 AU. So that's a long way. Let's hit our slipstream and head to the station. Now, an AU, an astronomical unit, is the distance from the Earth to the Sun. It's about 93 million miles, or approximately 150 million kilometers. But see, it drops automatically down to 150,000 or 150 kilometers. So I don't think we're using the same thing for AU, or maybe we're not using the same thing for meter, because our normal speed here with the maximum speed on a standard Shrike, standard equipment, is 250 meters per second, which would be rather slow in outer space. That works out to about 900 kilometers per hour. Now we can, it automatically, slipstream, you automatically drop out when you're near either asteroids or stations or anything like that. So, and that's what happened, and we are now close enough to go in there. Okay, so now we already know that we picked up our some armor. We picked up some steel plate, and here we are at 19.8% hit points. We were down to less than 20% of our armor. Shields, of course, recover with energy from your capacitor, which we haven't talked about yet, so don't be confused. Just know that your shields build back up naturally, your armor does not. So now what we want to do is fix that armor. Okay, the way you do that, first of all, whatever you're going to equip needs to be on the station. So what we're going to do is take our steel plate that we picked up from our prey, and we're going to send that to the station. Okay, now we come out of this, and we're going to go over here to our ship. We're going to select our armor, and we're going to select our armor that's here on the ship, or on the station, that's available for us to equip, and we're going to hit equip. There we go. All these other things, you can click on them and find out what they are. That's the capacitor I alluded to earlier. It's ceramic. It's the very least valuable you can get. The fusion drive, standard. Everything's standard here. Modules don't exist yet. Maybe in the next release, perhaps. We'll see. Okay, so here we go. Now, come out of here. Now, our armor's back up to 100%, 500 hit points of armor. Awesome. Now, let's go to the ship dealer. Because we picked up some stuff that we don't necessarily need. Actually, we can sell him our old stuff. So here we go, ship equipment. Now, naturally, the ship dealer wants us to buy stuff. So the first thing we see is all this stuff that we can buy. Escape pods, bullets, plasma cannons, all kinds of stuff. But up here, easy to miss, is click to sell equipment. And here's the thing that we can sell. We can look at all this other stuff, but we don't have anything like that to sell right now. Again, this is beta. It's probably going to look nicer and be more intuitive for the release version. That's why you want to get in on the beta so that you can tell the developer what you would like to see in this screen. So here we go. We're going to sell that steel plate for $8,750. Awesome. There we go. Now I got nothing to sell. All right. Luckily, we picked it up off of our the egret that we blew up, so that was nice. All right. Now what are we going to do? Let's go to the mission office. The mission office, and see what our active mission. What's the status of that? Is that the guy we were going for? Oh yes, it was. We destroyed that pirate. So I'm not sure. I can't see because I'm running Fraps right now, and I have a big number sitting over the credits. So I don't know if I got paid for that or not. But let's go ahead and complete that. It's done. Exit. How many credits do I have? I don't know. Can't tell. I need to change the corner that my Fraps report comes up in. So there we are. Now, I don't know how long we have been going, but this might be just a quick intro to the to Drifter, and I think it's going well. It's a good Elite-like game. It improves on Elite in a lot of ways, and it's always a great format for a space-based game. Just the the lone starship captain out there trying to live in a hostile galaxy, kind of like not so much like James T. Kirk, more like Han Solo with his trusty Wookiee by his side, but there's no Wookiees here just yet. So if you like it, give it a shot. Look in the description down there. There's going to be a link to Celsius.com, and if it doesn't work, it's easy enough. Celsius, like the thing that you use to measure temperature with, not thermometer, the scale, as opposed to Fahrenheit. Celsius. And tell them Mark II sent you. I don't think it'll help, but tell them anyway.